Hey guys, it's Steve and it's been a late issue, but I know the issue has already released on last week. Here it is, Axis Revolutions, the issue 1. So what are you gonna get here? As with the other times, such as Axis Hobgoblin and Axis Carnage, Axis Revolutions looks at how the events in Axis have changed the Marvel superheroes across the world, with two standalone and separate stories entitled with Great Head and Worry Hosts of Head. Axis Revolutions gets off to a pretty strong start. The first chapter of this issue looks at Spider-Man and how he is affected by the events of Axis. People across Manhattan are being driven mad, and it's interesting to see how Dennis Hopeless tackles this. The storyline is a relatively simple one and is unlikely to be remembered beyond the events of Axis, but if you were a fan of Peter Parker and the fun wisecracks that Spidey is often capable of pulling, then this is going to be enjoyable for you. It's fun and enjoyable, and with Ken Lashley and Rachel Rosenberg on pencils and coloring duties respectively. The first chapter looks like it could easily be a part of the main Amazing Spider-Man title, and you probably wouldn't notice that much difference even J. Jonah Jameson shows up with the main probable reason why it's here instead of there is that Edge of Spider-Verse is in full swing at the moment, but despite with Great Head still manages to be an effective story, even though it's not the most relevant. If you are a fan of Peter Parker and want to know what he's doing in this event though, then you'll probably get something out of this chapter. The second issue, written by Simon Spurrier, who this reviewer is mainly familiar with from his Warhammer 40,000 fiction as opposed to his Marvel Comics issues, delivers an equally done in one story featuring Doctor Strange in his Sanctum Sanctorum. It's a nice showcase for those not too familiar with Strange to give an idea, as does a great job at continuing to flesh out how the Marvel Universe as a whole reacts to the events in Axis, with Strange getting plenty to do. Unlike Spider-Man, Strange here is afflicted by hate and allows Poe inject with humor into Strange without it feeling out of character. It's the strongest out of the two, and hopefully with the movie on the horizon, this will be the start of the increased amount of exposure that Strange gets in the comics. And based from this issue, it would be pretty cool to see Spurrier write an ongoing series featuring the character. The artwork is provided by Tang Yang Ho, who puts in some strong pencils, and although it's a notable difference from the first story, you'll get used to it after a while. Craig Young's inks once more add to the strong quality of art on display, and Rachel Rosenberg once again provides some great colors, so it's safe to say that there's a lot of good talent in Hurry Host of Hope. Yeah, we have to admit it, that there's a lot of talent and we are not using them, so here is also the admission price and a good opportunity for those looking to explore more about Marvel's latest event and writers that readers may not be overly familiar with this kind of news and this kind of situations. So I feel embarrassed at that time. Sometimes it feels like really, why am I doing this one? So in the other hand, the biggest problem is that right away continuity and synergy are abandoned in the quest for meaningful stories that ultimately develop into cliches and flat-out boring tales. Spider-Man, as usual, addresses the problem as it hits the streets of Manhattan, but in a morally loaded attempt at transforming an after-school special into a comic book story. Hopeless browbeats readers with the same message again and again. Nothing in with Great Head, save for Spider-Man flippantly mentioning the Red Skull as the kind of a root cause, makes this tech a must-read for either Spider fans or Avengers and X-Men Axis evangelists. This could easily have been a story in the 1990s Spider-Man Unlimited series. Hopeless Spider-Man is a verbose teacher, which is a bad choice, but it doesn't make for particularly invigorating adventures. Ken Lashley's artwork, while picked up with energy, but we didn't provide an energy kind of thing, it would have been as equally at home in Unlimited. The artist focuses on Spider-Man, but at the expense of everything. Backgrounds are frequently defined in textures or even through tones applied by colorist Rachel Rosenberg. Even the antagonist of the story, a punk kid, doesn't maintain visual integrity, though the tail shifting from a paint-sized infantile appearance to a teen and back again. So here's the thing, unfortunately the latter half of this issue is no better, as Simon Spurrier reduces Stephen Strange to a maniacal madman. Yeah, perhaps oddest about this story is that Strange has already been shown as being a major player at ground zero of Skull's attack in Avengers and X-Men Axis proper, and here he's back in New York. I am usually willing to forego string and continuity in the name of good storytelling. So, but hooray, host of it is 10 pages filled with Mad Magazine. So what do we have to do? Do it right, or sometimes give it a space? That would be much risky. Unfortunately, the latter half of this issue is no better. Okay, that's it. Great. Marvel has been cranking out event stories and kind of thing that garnishing the presentation with additional tie-ins and crossovers, but in this case the presentation suffers anyone buying this comic. So for an appreciation from that favorite character is certain to be disappointed, while an event accomplishment is set up for confusing. That's a pretty much a tough thing, but what we have in over here, it's kind of that a great action kind of thing. So let's go for IGN review. What the IGNs are saying. These guys are saying something different, maybe those guys are saying something different, but we should have a look over there. So IGN is given it a 7.1 star. That's not a bad thing. That's pretty much good. So Access Revelations phone review, officially we can say one of the many flaws with Access in its first 3 issues is that there's no focus on how the world at large is responding to Red Onslaught's attack. Various characters refer to something called World War Head, but without some sort of context, it's just an abstract concept. So this is over here. We have to see what we got in here, different kind of actions over there, and that is the thing, that is the main agenda of this kind of books. That's a pretty much great. Lashley's art is more flawed, however, while his angular stylized take on Spider-Man is appropriate. The Spider is frequently drawn without his waving, and some panels lack backgrounds entirely. So thanks for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe for more amazing videos. Share it, guys.